It was a very interesting experience in the Bay Area, where despite being a holiday, Labor Day, the enthusiasm that I have experienced amongst US businesses, venture capitalists, startups to work with India was truly phenomenal. I started the day with paying my respects to Mahatma Gandhi. Also had an opportunity to visit the Gadar Memorial. And in some sense, got a lot of energy from the fact that even in such far-off areas, there is a little bit of India and India's history which we can experience. Through the day, I have had the opportunity to meet professionals, launched 6 offices of the Institute of Chartered Accountants across the United States of America today, met with business persons from TIE and other organizations who helped navigate the startup story and give new ideas. Had a few meetings with eminent business persons, CEOs of very large American corporations like Adobe, and also finally had an interaction with about 30 odd very senior captains of industry of the startup ecosystem, venture capitalists, who shared with me their experiences, gave quite a few very interesting suggestions to further the US-India engagement, flow of investments into India, creation of new jobs in India, and also expressed huge confidence in the India story. So a day well spent, despite being really a day I thought I'll just reach here and prepare myself for a very grueling next few days here. It turned out to be a very grueling beginning, but as they say, well begun is half done. So I'm truly very, very satisfied at the end of day one. I see huge potential, and I see our partnership with the US, a partnership of trust, resting on the 3 pillars of trade, technology and talent, only going from strength to strength. Thank you.
Let the questions be about the trip only.
Yeah. So you said you interacted with business leaders, including some startup leaders. Were there concerns by them, and how is the administration looking into, catering to those concerns and, taking care of those concerns?
Well, many of them have had very good experiences. Some concerns were obviously highlighted, and we welcome that. That's the very purpose of such engagements. And I go back with a lot of good ideas. I go back with a lot of suggestions. And I do certainly go back with some work also. But all in all, the engagement was very cordial, very fruitful. And I do see that there's a lot of interest in the opportunities that India presents.
Could you share some of those concerns or the feedback that you've received?
Well, for example, one of the points brought up by a company which is looking at expanding investments into India was around a subject that directly relates to me, the direct selling rules in the Consumer Protection Act. So I've assured him that very quickly I'll have a look at that. And I do believe that we've had some consultations on that in India too. and we'll try to resolve that very soon. And similar such issues around creating a bridge between startup investment possibilities in India and the venture investors here, how we can help handhold and navigate investors through the journey in India. There was a lot of interest about knowing potential locations for the semiconductor industry to locate in India. So some very interesting ideas and some very interesting offers came to the table. We had a gentleman from IIT Kanpur who's 72, retired but not tired, and who has offered to get the 200,000 IIT alumni engaged with the India story. And I think that's a very, very powerful suggestion and a powerful offer, which I'm going to take him up on. He's also offered to spend time and offer his services, since he's not in active business, to help in getting all of them engaged with India in whatever capacity India needs them, in whichever way, and based on the time that they can spend for India.
So what is the year-end target that you're looking at India-US trade? What would be the figures that would be good?
I think we've seen some very challenging geopolitical situation in the last few months. The US is also going through very significant challenges. So we'll wait for some more time before we can really firm up where we see March 23 ending. But I can only say this, that so far we are well on track to do better than last year.
So you did mention in your last meeting that you are in dialogue with your US counterpart, and you think that there would be some progress. Do you think that this trip might just move the needle a little bit more, or push it towards a substantial or a positive way forward for India-US trade relations?
India-US trade relations are extremely strong by themselves. But the US administration as a policy is not looking for a free trade agreement with any new partner. Should they change their mind, India would be happy and willing to discuss. Without that also, we are continuously through our trade policy forum, our 2+2 ministerial dialogue, our commercial dialogue, our CEO forum, we are engaged continuously in working together, attracting investments, attracting technology, attracting trade between the two countries. We are also now going to be more engaged in the Indo-Pacific economic framework, which will help us, may not be a full-fledged free trade agreement, but certainly ease the contours of trade and help create more resilient supply chains and partnerships between businesses in the two countries.
So any interest from the investors or the VCs that you met on expanding the PLI scheme, expanding scope?
Well, the PLI scheme has been extremely well received. There's interest also in looking at the semiconductor incentive program. I have not received any specific requests for expanding it to any newer areas, but the government of India is open to ideas. We are already exploring a few more subjects or sectors where we may be coming out with some schemes.
Could you please elaborate on the sectors?
As they get firmed up, we'll certainly let you know.
Sir, a lot of multinational companies are looking at diversifying away from China after this COVID especially. So will that also feature in your discussion with companies here?
I think India is an attractive proposition on its own merit and strength. If American or other companies are looking at diversifying, it's a matter of choice and a decision that each company takes. We believe that on our competitive advantages, the comparative strengths that India has to offer, the talent and pool of skilled manpower that we provide, the aspirational 130 crore Indians who have a desire for higher levels of prosperity, therefore offering a huge market for businesses from around the world. Our demographic dividend, the young, active population, all of these, particularly coupled with a strong, decisive leadership, a stable political environment, predictable and stable policies, and the transparent, open economy, the democracy that we have to offer, rules-based trading systems, the fact that we have a vibrant judiciary, media, and are open to engage with like-minded countries helps make India probably the world's best destination today.
So what else can India do? I mean, to take advantage of the momentum, so to speak, which is moving things from China, Taiwan to India because of the geopolitical situation. India has made great success by PLI schemes, etc. But what else can we do?
Well, these are evolving ideas. So we are looking at strengthening, for example, our legal systems. We are looking at reducing the compliance burden on businesses. We are going to be coming up with more and more decriminalization of Indian legal systems or removing some of the laws which are redundant from the statute book. We are developing several plug-and-play industrial parks in different parts of the country through the National Infrastructure and Industrial Corridor program. 7 new textile parks will be coming up for cluster-based approach to from farm to foreign, as Prime Minister Modi had suggested, farm, fiber, fabric, fashion and foreign, the 5F that he had suggested. So all in all, ideas will keep coming, work will keep expanding. We are very, very committed to play the role of a facilitator and a friend to business, industry and investments.
Right.
What more?
Last question.
What more expansion can we see in, like you said in your speech on technical textiles? So what is the government thinking how to promote technical textiles?
We have a technical textile research mission which is ongoing, where we have invited private sector, universities, both in the public and private sector, and other stakeholders to come up with proposals which government can finance for R&D and innovation in technical textiles and geotextiles. We have recently come up with a production linked incentive PLI program for technical textile products. We are looking at supporting the apparel industry, both cotton and otherwise technical textile or geosynthetics, also in the days to come. We believe that with 2/3 of the global trade on textiles coming from technical textiles or synthetics, there's a huge opportunity there which we hope to participate in the years to come, along with our thrust on cotton textiles, of course.